A World Cup is never won by just one team. There's always a player who steps up, who changes history, who becomes the symbol of a nation. In 2002, it was Ronaldo. In 2014, James Rodríguez. In 2022, Messi. Now, the whole world waits. Who's going to be the protagonist of the 2026 World Cup? Will we see a legend from the old guard bowing out in glory? Or will it be the time for a young star to shine and claim football's throne? To begin with, we've got to talk about Cristiano Ronaldo. At 41 years old, he heads into his 6th World Cup with one obsession: winning the trophy that's always escaped him. 5 Ballons d'Or, Champions League titles, record after record, the all-time top scorer in Champions League history, a man who's netted almost 1,000 career goals. But even with all that, the World Cup is missing. And the big question is, does Portugal have the weight to take him there? The truth is, Cristiano isn't alone. This Portuguese side might be their most talented since 2016. Bruno Fernandes, now 30, is the true leader on the pitch. Creative, decisive, and ready to take the armband whenever Cristiano isn't there. Portugal proved their mettle in the 2025 Nations League. Epic final, CR7 equalizer in normal time, Bruno converting in the shootout, and Nuno Mendes named man of the match. That kind of leadership could be key in 2026. Bernardo Silva was decisive for City when they won the Champions League in 2023, bossing finals against giants like Real Madrid. And Gonzalo Ramos, who's already shown his knack for scoring in big games, is emerging as the young striker ready to share the load with Cristiano. Portugal have shown they can go toe-to-toe with the heavyweights. In 2022, they reached the quarterfinals. Now, with a more mature squad, they've got reasons to believe in a deeper run. Cristiano is still delivering, as he proved with another goal-packed season in Saudi Arabia. But what could define this World Cup isn't just his endless hunger. It's whether Portugal, as a unit, can turn this generation into champions. If Cristiano Ronaldo arrives as the legend chasing the one missing trophy, on the other side, we've got a kid who could be the face of a new era. Lamine Yamal, only 17, was decisive in Spain's Euro 2024 triumph, scoring a screamer in the semi against France. And he's already a star for Barcelona, taking responsibility in the big games. It's no exaggeration to say he heads into the World Cup as the tournament's biggest prospect. The difference is, Yamal doesn't play alone. Spain have a structure that allows him to shine. Pedri, just 22, is already one of the most intelligent midfielders in Europe, able to control tempo and pick out passes when it matters most. That duo sums up why Spain are tipped as favorites. Yamal brings flair and unpredictability. Pedri brings creativity in midfield. Add Nico Williams and Dani Olmo, who widen the attacking options. The question is whether Yamal, despite his age, can handle being the protagonist at a World Cup. History says yes. In 1958, Pelé was 17 when he lit up the stage and changed Brazil's destiny. Now, Yamal could very well be Spain's Pelé in 2026. England arrive at the 2026 World Cup, surrounded by expectation. As always, the country that invented football has spent nearly 60 years chasing a major trophy, and this could be the last shot for a generation labeled their most talented in decades. Right now, the most reliable face is Phil Foden, growing influence at City and delivering in big games. If Jude Bellingham returns firing after his shoulder surgery, he naturally reclaims the protagonist role. At 23, the Real Madrid midfielder is already considered one of the best players in the world. In 2023/24, he was decisive as Madrid won both the Champions League and La Liga, scoring in huge moments and showing personality. Soon after, he carried England to the Euro 2024 final, standing out as their most consistent player. Technique, power, leadership, everything about him screams natural leader for England in 2026. Harry Kane still wears the armband, still obsessed with the trophy that's eluded him. top scorer in the Bundesliga with Bayern Munich, still posting insane numbers season after season. The problem? His career has become the symbol of lost finals and missed chances. The 2026 World Cup might be his last shot to erase that stigma and cement his name in English football history. England's squad is strong. Foden and Bukayo Saka bring pace and creativity. Declan Rice brings steel in midfield, and the core that reached the Euro final is still intact. But the same old question lingers. Do England have the mental strength to turn talent into a trophy? If they do, Bellingham will be at the center of it, and Kane could finally leave the heartbreak behind. If not, it's another chapter of unfulfilled promises. Few players have gone into a World Cup with as much hype as Mbappé. At 27, he already has a World Cup title and even scored a hat-trick in a final. But to become a true all-time legend, he needs another. France certainly have the squad for it. Alongside Mbappé is Ousmane Dembélé, who enjoyed a breakout season as Ligue 1's top scorer and a key man for PSG in the Champions League. In midfield, players like Aurélien Tchouameni are already established in the national team, bringing balance and youthful energy to vital positions. Then there's the new generation. Warren Zaïre-Emery, first called up at just 17, has already shown maturity and made history at PSG. He's still young to be a guaranteed starter, but his progress is one to watch closely if France can keep the squad united and avoid internal meltdowns, the kind that's ruined past campaigns. Mbappé has everything to be the face of this World Cup, with Dembélé also ready to steal some of the spotlight. If chaos strikes, though, even the most talented squad can stumble. And then there's Argentina, the team arriving at 2026 with the confidence of champions. World Cup winners in Qatar, Copa America winners in 2024, and still keeping the same backbone, they've proved that they know how to get it done. At the center of it all, Lionel Messi. At 39, Messi enters his sixth and final World Cup. In 2022, he wrote the most emotional chapter of his career, leading Argentina to glory, and, for many, cementing his status as the greatest of all time. He added another Copa America in Miami in 2024, still performing at a high level close to 40. But the question remains, can he still be a protagonist in 2026? Physically, he won't have the same intensity, but Messi doesn't need to run all game to change it. One pass, one free kick, one strike from distance, he can still decide everything in an instant. In 2026, his role is different. Messi will be the conductor, the leader making space for others to shine. Julian Alvarez is the clearest sign of this transition. In 2022, he was the young breakthrough, a key sidekick in the title run. Today, he's a much more mature striker, thriving at Atletico Madrid with impressive numbers in Europe. His movement, finishing, and presence give Argentina an attacking edge that complements Messi rather than depends on him. In midfield, Alexis McAllister brings balance. Crucial in Liverpool's Premier League winning campaign, he's become more and more of a heartbeat for Argentina. He defends, builds, and chips in with decisive plays. Not flashy, but exactly the kind of player who wins World Cups, the one who stays steady under pressure. At the back, Argentina's ace is Emiliano Martinez. In recent tournaments, he's become a specialist in decisive moments. His stop against Kolo Muani in the 2022 final is already iconic, as is his ice-cold mentality. Martinez is more than a goalkeeper. He's a psychological weapon. With him in goal, Argentina always feel like they've got a chance. With Messi's flashes, Alvarez in his prime, McAllister steady in midfield, and Martinez among the most impactful keepers in the world, Argentina arrives solid. The challenge is keeping the same fire from 2022, because maintaining hunger after so much glory isn't easy. And then there's Sweden, who might not be among the favorites, but they've got a striker you simply can't ignore. Viktor Gyökeres is in sensational form. In the Nations League, he scored 9 goals in just 6 games, more than Cristiano Ronaldo himself. That kind of record puts him straight into the conversation as one of the most dangerous forwards heading into 2026. Gyökeres now plays for Arsenal, after 2 brilliant years at Sporting. He arrived in London wearing the historic number 14, and expectations are huge that he'll become their main man up front. He's strong, quick, clinical, and his movement makes him a nightmare for defenders, pressing, running the channels, and creating chances out of nothing. If Sweden are going to shock the world at the World Cup, it'll almost certainly be with Gyökeres leading the line. Hakimi is another name you can't ignore. The PSG right back, one of the best in the world in his position, brings pace, skill, and attacking power. In 2022, he hit that cheeky panenka against Spain, sending Morocco into the quarterfinals for the first time. Since then, he's been clear. Winning the World Cup with Morocco would beat anything I could ever achieve at club level. But Morocco aren't just Hakimi. They're a well-drilled unit. Youssef En-Nesyri, who scored that historic quarterfinal goal to knock out Portugal, remains a key figure. Achraf Dari even scored in the third-place playoff against Croatia. There's captain Romain Saiss, the experienced leader, and Azzedine Ounahi, who's shown in 2022 and is now impressing in Europe, showing Morocco's talent runs deep. Croatia's still led by Luka Modric. In 2018, he dragged them to the final and won the Golden Ball. In 2022, at 37, he led them to third place and picked up the bronze ball. Proof he's still decisive, even against younger and fitter opponents. Alongside him, Ivan Perisic still delivers in big games, Mateo Kovacic anchors the midfield, and Joško Gvardiol, the rising star, has already established himself as one of the best defenders in the world. Croatia may not have the glamour names, but they've got organization, experience, and players used to handling pressure. With Modric pulling the strings, nobody should doubt their ability to surprise again. And what about Germany? Nobody forgets their disasters at the last 2 World Cups, crashing out in the group stages. Unthinkable for a 4-time champion, but 2026 feels different. Their run to 4th in the Nations League showed signs of recovery, proof they can still hang with the best. Leading that rebuild is Florian Wirtz, the new face of the team. The attacking midfielder was the star of Leverkusen's historic invincible Bundesliga season. Creativity, goals, and the knack for delivering under pressure. Type of player who can turn a good side into a contender. We're all buzzing for the 2026 World Cup. Some arrive for one last dance, others for their coronation, and some to shock the world. But only one will emerge as the true face of this World Cup. The question is, who's going to inherit football's throne?